Hey guys, it's me,
Hey guys,
Aspire.
it's
Sheesh.
me.
Okay,
So,
today we're doing a 4 volleyball 4.2 serve tier list. Very
uh,
interesting. We've
alright.
has.
So,
Okay, we have the serves on the bottom, and we're gonna be ranking them. First, we have the
yeah.
glide serve. Give us your take.
Alright. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to say a few things about the glide serve. If you know how to do it really well, it can be quite hard to read. What I've noticed is hitting like the right side, left facing, and mid is like really hard to tell between the two, and from Aspire's point of view on it as well. But the problem with the glide serve is that it's kind of hard to learn, and even like at high levels, it can be inconsistent at times, especially if you want to line abuse or hit the corners or like do crazy stuff like that. But hitting glides like without really worrying about that's not going to be so hard. I'd say like probably high B to like low A tier, just because it's really really hard to learn. Like you get a lot out of it, but most people won't be able to do it. Like most people struggle to learn it. So yeah.
My take on the glide serve. I don't know the glide serve personally, so I don't know how to do it personally, but I've been on the receiving end of many glide serves, and they're really hard to receive, but I've tried learning
Also,
it. It's really hard. Takes a lot of dedication, but I
Also, I've I've seen like you can also change the power you like set the ball. You can change it to like 4 power and like do your rotation faster and like hit the ball earlier. So you can change the timing and like the way you
yeah, it's
change the
really like customizable. It's like a serve that you can like hit
effect.
many
If you do
different
like
places on the court.
yeah, I'd say if you do like a 5 power flick glide to the middle in a scrim, like not to the middle but slightly to the side, they won't be able to know and they just have to purely react to it. Like if you just do a really quick one.
Yeah, it's really hard to read this serve as well because they can hit many different
Yeah,
parts of the court. So
I think
I
that's
think it's I think it's an A tier.
yeah.
So here
Flicks.
we have the flick serve. It
Oh
is
boy.
like it's more of a flick serves are like uh sneak up on you, kind of like a shock factor in there. But
Yeah.
once you know that they're doing a flick serve, it becomes really easy to read. But I'm still like, it's not that hard to learn, so I still think it's like a B tier, high B,
The
because it still gets a lot of people, like inexperienced
but it's
players.
actually like really meta and like scrims. A lot of people do them, especially like because the ones that like still kind of aggro you are like the really deep flicks where they um where they completely like aim towards the edge. Those ones like the vertical edge. Those ones like really get you sometimes. I'm sorry if I sound a bit weird because it's cold as shit for some reason, but yeah.
Yeah, so
But
I think the
that's
flick serve is
really
a B, high
solid
B.
mid, like solid to the middle B. Just because, like, I mean, it is kind of hard to, but it's probably more readable than um, like a really well done glide serve or something like that.
Here we go, the Kira serve. Very infamous serve. A lot of people learn this serve.
Yep.
Um,
I'm a personal fan of the Kiro serve as well, even though there are times where I do hit it kind of behind the line. I just lean too slow or something because I'm
I
hitting it.
personally love the Kiro. I use it a
Yeah,
lot, as you can
yeah.
see in my
Aspire, oh my god,
montages.
love that hero. He's if you haven't watched our videos, then
The thing is
go.
about the Kiro, like tilting, it's like it as like with the glide serve, it's really hard to learn. There's definitely like a skill factor and like takes many hours in their private serve to like get it down. But that's for like
Keep
completing like
well,
one Kiro. But you have to hit
well,
all three parts of the
yeah,
court. So and to get that like really consistent, like hit it every time is really difficult. So I don't know. I think Akira is like uh,
Kiro and Glide are
similar.
kind of have the same ideas. It's kind of weird. They have the same ideas to this to the way like you serve it, and they're also kind of similar in like kind of difficulty as well, and like learning them. They're like kind of brothers, twin brothers,
Yeah.
probably. Kiro and the Glide.
Before using the Kira in scrims, you would have to get really confident with it and like hit many parts of the court. I see people learning the Kira and like only hitting one side of the court and not learning the other sides,
I
other
also
parts.
noticed Kiro. Thing about the Kiro, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can like stand halfway through the line and just run and do it. You can like
Yeah.
run run out, do it like classical Kiro style. You can do the infamous hypotenuse Kiro that Fire does. He's so good at it, bro. And I took my time to kind of try and learn it as well, but I'm not as good as him at doing it. And then you can also just run straight across the line. You can do the other side. You can do it from half, like kind of in the middle, like not at the edge of the court. So there's a lot of ways you can Kiro too.
Like
Kind of
it's a really
change
good
your perspective.
serve. Like you can hit like a lot of parts of the court. It's not that easy to read like the glide serve, but I think it's a low. It's like below the glide serve, but like still at an A standard. That's what I think. So here we
Yeah,
have the rush. Kind of
the
like the
rush.
flick serve. It shocks people when you first use it, but you have to be fast. It depends what rush you're doing, really. Like if you're using the one with tilt and you just like spawn it and then tilt, so you have to use no stamina. It's like pretty deadly. That serve gets a lot
But
of
even
people.
gets me sometimes, especially when we're not paying attention. You can just like wait till 5 seconds, just instantly spawn, hit the ball, catch them off guard with a quick little rush, bro.
If
It's
you
kind
know
of
how to time your tilt really well, you can get it to the very edges of the court, like pretty consistently.
And here's
So,
the thing about the rush serve. It's like probably like in terms of how often it ankles, not as much as Kira, but it's definitely up there with how much you can score. And the good thing about this compared to the Kira and the Glide is it's a lot easier to learn in my opinion. Like
yeah.
you don't really you don't really have to like WA kind of SD. You can still SD, but like it's normally just S and W. Just go back and go forwards. You don't really have to come on an angle or like on the side of the ball.
And you
It's a
can
bit
get
more.
really consistent with the rush serve, like at a point, like really easily, where you can like not even miss. You get like really consistent at it if you keep practicing it.
You merge it into your key, like your arsenal of serve, your Kira and Glide. And this thing is, even though it may seem like, oh, it just why would you do rush? You could just keep Kira and Kira. It actually is like it can like also kind of catch them off guard.
Yeah.
So you can still apply the serve even to a high level, bro. You
Because
can
you
still
can like hit it different places of the court where like your Kiro or your glide doesn't
you
hit.
can you can hit them to like you can really like with the rush I've noticed you can get some really good edge abusers, like guaranteed
Yeah.
edge abuse, and like without having to worry about overshooting or anything, there's a less uncertainty to where you're gonna hit it. Like you can control it easier.
When you go with the glide serve, like edge abuse or the Kiro serve, it's really hard. Like you like risking
A
missing your
lot of time
serve.
to get somewhat consistent, and even then, even if you've like trained a lot of hours, you still like can't guarantee as much as the run. You can hit those kind of like to the edge and stuff.
So where do you
So
think it ranks, Cry, in
I
terms
would
of?
say, looking at all the other serves after, like Rush is probably like S relative to a lot of it, bro. Like
Yeah, because it's like
think about
easy to
like
learn.
yeah, it's easy to like no not meaning to like those people that struggle, but like relative to like Kira and Glide, it's like a lot easier to learn, and like you get a lot out of it. Like
Yeah.
it's like up there. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have to say about the rush
We're
serve.
not only encountering like, oh yeah, the Kiro It's like the best because you can hit every part of the court. It's unreadable. It's like we're counting like how much time it takes to learn and how much time do you have to put into the
Yeah,
Kiro to get consistent at it.
there's time factor to it, and there's like um
Ah, the killer
it's
serve. Personally,
uh
me, Cry and I's opinion on the killer serve is it's just trash. I wouldn't put any time into the killer serve. You can only
the
go straight. Literally, noobs just learning the game can wreck this serve. When I first started playing this, I mean, I like devoted like an hour or two to the killer serve learning it, and then
but
actually doing it in the pickup. People were just
but I will say,
wrecking it.
yeah, I will say one thing about the killer serve. It is a good stepping stool for you to get into like more advanced serves like the glide, even the rush, because there are aspects to it that are similar that require speed. But like because in terms of difficulty, out of the like ones that are already on the list, killer serve is by far the like that are already on like the tier. Killer serve is like the easiest. So you you could use it as like a way to kind of train your skill up.
Yeah, train your
So
mechanics.
that's like I guess its purpose. I mean, like you probably like get people in pubs with it like quite often actually, but if there's like a guy who's decent and like can read you hitting the ball even on like an angle because you like freaking you show it like obviously with your killer serve like um yeah I'd say like there are gonna be a lot of times where
But like, there's
you
other
really want to
serves like the F serve and the stop set serve and the float serve, which get more people than the killer serve. Like,
yeah.
so
Although I will say, a lot of beginners can have trouble wrecking the killer server because I was one of them before, and that just has to do with like the ball being fast and you just not wrecking fast enough. So you will get beginners, but anyone who's kind of good at the game will just wreck your killer server. So
I think
yeah,
it's
I'd
in
say like
between like D.
yeah, I'll probably say D because you still kind of want to learn it as like a stepping stool.
Yeah.
You do. It's not like you don't want to learn it. Like, by all means, learn it. You don't have to learn it. I do still recommend learning if you want to get into the glide serve, though, all those kind of things. So, yeah, it it's a serve you learn not to do, but to just freaking like learn other serves above it.
Okay,
Which
so we have the V serve.
V serves like B tier, A tier probably like B tier
There's
probably.
not much to say about the serve, but it has a lot of
Oh
different variations. It's quite easy to
yeah,
wreck, but like you have to put zero time into the
it is
V serve.
like if you want to guarantee you don't freaking mess up, lose a point, just stand behind the line, press V, and you got your serve in it. Even Kiro himself says like, I wouldn't even do killer serve, but I'd still probably do the V serve. So I mean, like V serves, like it,
Incredibly consistent serve.
yeah, I mean, you basically can't miss it unless you just purposely pre-aim to the side or something idiotic like that, or purposely set your power to like two.
V serve, definitely B, I think.
Yeah, V serve
There's
is
some
B.
stuff with the V serve, like, which is like quite messes a lot of people up unexpectedly.
Yeah.
F serve. Personally,
Mm-hmm.
the F serve, like, you can do a flick with it. You can like change the power up so it goes shorter. You can line abuse with it, and it's really consistent. For me,
Yeah,
it's
you
like an
can.
S tier serve, honestly.
Yeah, and a lot of people in scrims like don't even use most of those. Like, like if you've watched like the State Farm versus Karasuno finals, you'll know that they're just F serve, and the reason they're doing that and not like freaking using all 10 of their power and doing like a flashy as Kiro is because like they're probably gonna wreck it at that level with 3 pro back rows and you don't want to waste your stamina to serve the ball, and they could like potentially just ape it on the second hit, like
Yeah.
super fast, and you don't have time to react. You want to conserve your power in top level. So even in the top level, F serve like a lot of people use it, and it is decently fast. And although you might not be getting people like with it, that's not the point of that serve. It's just to get the ball to the other side of the net and basically like just yeah, start the game off. It's not a serve that you that you do to freaking ace people that though. Although although you can if you like go like to the edge, you can potentially ace, but I mean like
It's just a serve that you do because it's hella consistent. Kinda hard, like you have to pay attention to wreck it. And it leaves you stamina. So if like the enemy team's like quite good
yeah.
and then they get back the ball really quickly, you need the stamina to wreck it. So
Even the top yeah, the let's say the really hard to wreck glide serve, flick serve, like they'll wreck it if there are like three really good
yeah,
back
because
rows.
people usually two back row or like three back row, they would wreck
And
it.
like first scrim, they'd wreck it almost all the time. You kind of just have to try and catch them off guard. Like that's just so sometimes it's just like you know what, we're just gonna like not like the serve, just let them wreck it.
Okay, so we
Oh
have the tilt
yeah,
serve.
the tilt serve. Oh my, do
Many
people
people
actually?
don't know the tilt serve, so would you like
Do
to
people actually? Oh,
explain it for them?
explain the tilt. Okay, yeah, you explain Aspire. Explain what the tilt serve
Okay,
is.
so basically, you have to be really, really, really perfect with your lane, or people call it a tilt, pressing SD or SA, and you go
And
behind the line and just like spawn it, and then
literally
use
just
your tilt to hit
spike
it.
it in.
Yeah.
And the thing about the timing, or just a tip, if you really, really want to know like every serve in the game, you SD or A, and like literally a split second after you A, you hit the ball, but you don't want to do it too fast after you hit the ball. You want to like a little bit delay. It's like I can't really explain it. Like you just kind of have to test the timing of it to
It
know
depends
like
on your ping as well. Like,
there's some small frame of time to it. Yeah, and ping difference too. Dude, if I went on to like 200, if I could get it somewhat consistently on ADMS, and I just went to like a server where I'm lagging, like I'm just like gonna have to relearn it basically, relearn another time. And when I go back to the ADMS, I'm like, oh well, I have to change it again. So I mean, like
I wouldn't put
like
time to learn this serve, but if you really, really want to learn all the
yeah,
serves,
if you just want to know all the
flex.
serves, then yeah, by all means, do it, bro.
But like for
By
people trying to learn a serve and actually want to like have a good serve, I would say
even flex
trash don't learn.
like, like it barely even works, even if you know the timing of it, just because the small window of
Yeah, the
time
consistency
the
is
players
just
want to
like
learn.
not there. Float
And
serve. This is
float serve,
quite a
yeah,
consistent one as
it
well.
is actually quite good. If
Yeah.
you think about the float serve, is I'd say like up there with the F serve actually, because I actually argue that the float serve you can get people more than the F serve. Like I'd argue that it's higher than F, but maybe below Rush. Because the thing about the float serve, like you can like trick people into um into thinking that it's kind of like a stop to it, but there's just no stop, and it just kind of just keeps going over. That's also kind of like
But this float
kind of
serve is the one with the spike, so it's like
yeah, I know. So you can tell, but you can make it go like really close to the net, or you can make it go like really far out. Like 3 power would go right really close to the net. Like I'm pretty sure 7 power off standing on the same spot can go to like the far back, and like 8 power standing a bit further back will also go to the far back. So you can change how hard you hit the ball and like how far it goes. And they just kind of have to be paying attention as well, like the F serve. But the F serve, like I mean, you could do 14, 15 power to hit it to slightly different areas, but this one you can create a bigger difference with where you hit it.
but for me personally, it's like kind of a between like the F serve and the float serve. Pretty similar, but like the
They're
F serve
similar.
F serve
What would you
wins in like what's it called? Tricking their opponent how to receive it, but the F serve is just like faster, I feel like. The float serve,
the float? But yeah, I'm saying like
they're
if I'm being
similar.
honest, F serves get me less nowadays, just because they all kind of are the same. The float
It
serve,
depends
like
on personal preference, like
it's personal preference, but they're both like kind of
similar
similar in that
levels,
they're
but
like
they're both
really
like good.
yeah.
For the
Basically,
amount
both
of like, it takes like what 2 minutes to learn the float serve, if you're pretty
float
experienced
serve,
with your
jump
buttons.
S, left click, jump S left click.
Yeah. Stop set serve.
So stop
This
set serve.
this one is it's like you learnt the float serve already. Why would you need a stop set serve? But it's like good in its own right, kind of. I think it's down
Yeah,
there.
it really tricks beginners. Like, I guess it tricks beginners quite a bit because they kind of don't understand the physics of the game. The ball could just stop suddenly in the air if you put stop on it. But once you like have a lot of experience, once if you start versing decent like experienced players, or even just like a little bit of experienced players, they would have seen a stop serve at least like maybe 20 times in their life. So they would be kind of used to it. Like, if I'm being honest.
So I think
Like,
it's like B tier, low B tier, might be C tier.
a lot of people alternate. Like they do the stop set serve where they FS with stop, but they also do it without stop on less power, so it like doesn't stop. So that that sometimes tricks people if they're not awake, I guess,
Yeah.
or they're just like kind of starting out. So I'd say maybe probably like
C.
C because
A solid C.
yeah, solid C tier to the stop set serve. Just because more people probably fall for no stop than like stop these days, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so here we have the
Double
double stop set serve. So
yeah,
basically,
creamy serve, bro.
so it's
But
basically just a serve so you can like it tricks people like for one time, but if you do it more than once, it's like useless. Like people know where it goes. So it's like a
yeah,
one-time serve, but it's
and
good
there's
for
gonna
that
be
one.
like variations of it, like in terms of the like where you set it and as you go up with the ball, and like you set it as you go with the ball forwards and you set it again. There's only really two variations. One where the ball the second time you hit it kind of stops and goes a little over the net, and the other where it kind of continues and goes near the back. But once you get used to like kind of those two variations and probably one that goes towards kind of the middle, you can kind of just read it because it's going to be on the same line of
And
the
this is a serve where it's like not easy to learn. It's like quite, it's like in the
it's
intermediate spectrum.
it's like and it's like it's intermediate in the section, and you don't really get much out of it, if I'm being honest. Like you like people are gonna be able to read it much easier than probably even like a sideways killer serve, if I'm being honest. It's kind of easy to read
It's like
once
a,
you
I
so
think it's a
once
B or C tier, honestly, if I'm being honest.
yeah
I'm gonna put it,
kind of low C, to be honest,
yeah,
low
C.
two,
It's
yeah,
lower than stop set for sure, but higher than killer.
yeah,
So
higher than killer.
that ends our, what's it called? That
Our
ends our like tier serve list for the serves.
yeah, yeah.
I think it's pretty like standard. Like people might be shocked at first
People,
why the glide
people,
and Kiro.
people would definitely have a lot of like there'll definitely be those of you out there that have different opinions. Again, this is just our opinion of it, our take, our perspective.
Yeah.
It's not like 100% facts. It's just opinion, bro. So yeah, don't get too salty
Don't
when we
take
say
it with,
kind of bro.
don't take it to heart like what we say. It's
Yeah,
just our opinion.
yeah,
And
just
we're
yeah.
like, remember, we're like taking into account how many hours does it take to learn the serve.
Yeah. How much do you actually get out of it?
Yeah.
How applicable is it in beginner, intermediate, and scrim level of
Yeah.
play? You know, we taking all those into account. So, I mean, yeah, in the end, it is subjective, um, with a little bit of objectivity in there that is like common that people can agree on. But yeah, that's gonna be the video, guys.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks guys for listening.
watching, guys. We'll
Yeah,
see
thanks for
you
watching.
in the next montage, probably.
Yeah,
Or
montage. It's gonna be good.
peace.
Comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks.